Okay, I'm gonna do this again. I've done it once and I'm gonna do it again because I wanna record this. Um, One morning on January 4th, I got up in a lot of pain and just went to my living room trying to make a little bit breakfast and a coffee, and tired, in pain, and something happened to me that moment. I got huge energy that just entered me, just came to me, and my mind opened up, my heart opened up, and it's like, what's going on? What's going on with me? And I found an energy and inner voice. It was weird because something or somebody or me, because it just was me in the room, was telling me to pick up the pen and paper and start to write. And I just didn't want to do that at that moment. I need to take care of my cats. I have 6 cats. I just woke up. I'm in so much pain. I just want to have a tea or coffee, just tiny little something sweet with it, like coffee cake, something like that. And I was not in a mood. And then I felt that my pain is kind of leaving me, and my mind, it's not blurry, it's getting clear and clear, and energy started to come to me. And I'm like, okay. So I just went, I found a piece of paper. Uh, Actually, I have not piece of paper, I found something, a notebook, like this. A notebook. It doesn't even have a cover. It has the back, but doesn't have a cover. And it says, write. And I said, write what? And the voice says, you want to write the piano book? You want to write the method book, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying for a long time, like almost 15 years. I'm trying to write that book, but every time I write it, it's just not happening. I'm getting sick, this and that, life, anxieties. I just cannot write it. And every time I write it, it's good, but there's so many ideas that it's just overrides the idea I had, overrides the idea I have. Uh, Let me see, put the phone like this if it doesn't fall. So this was on January 2025. I put a date, 5:60 p.m. and it says idea. I don't know how to put the phone that it doesn't fall. Idea, right there. And I start to write this method book. And I wrote it a little bit. I wrote it, then I stop. And I put idea again. And I start to write again my method book. Uh, just kind of experiencing like this. And just leave it and this, because the spirit says right. And look what happened. And this is where we're going. So I was writing that method book, so I found this and I said, okay, if the inner voice says just get up and write your uh, method book, so let me go pick up my notes and write it. And while I was writing, look what happened. I go to Book of Revelation. Book of Revelation. And it starts to pour out with the pictures. Angel, the earth. And it was coming and coming, this information. Like pouring out. And I couldn't understand because I was writing the method book in 2025, which is, it says January. Which day? January, it says. January 2nd, 2025. And now we are on January 4th, 2026. And something happens. I says, oh, do you remember you wanted to write the method book? Open up. Start writing it. And when I start to write, not in this notebook, a different notebook, just open it and start to write. I think was this notebook or no, this notebook. Yeah, this is the new. Yeah, I start to write here, and the ideas start to come to me, and I start to write, and all of a sudden the Spirit says, "Open Book of Revelation and write, read and write," and I start to read, and it's just pouring. This is one day. How many pages? Keep going, keep going until I stop until January 15th. So I stopped on January 4th when I wrote it, then I started on January 15th. And then I start to write again, January 15th, 3:30 p.m. because it says to write the date and the time. Smyrna and everything. And it started to write and write and write. I was writing and it stopped. It stopped because my downstairs neighbor just started to say things and accuse me things like it's too loud, the sound is loud. So February 6th, it was the last time I wrote it. And now we are April 18th, I think today, or I don't know which day is today. Now we are April. So in February, so I was writing it, and the Spirit is just keep writing it, a new information. It was just, I don't know how I was writing it. It just kind of writing and writing all this information was just pouring out. And all of a sudden, the downstairs neighbor start to say that I'm making noise and this and that, start to make a complaint about my plants in the garden. And the management came with 6 people knocking on my door like, we're gonna take your plants out from the balcony. I'm like, why? Everybody has plants on their balcony. Why plants from my balcony? I couldn't understand. And what happened, that I stopped on Book of Revelation. I think it was 4, Book of 4 and 5. All that information is pouring in, and I can understand. And I was writing it, new information. And then I go on YouTube, I look here, I listen to this, I listen to that, videos after videos, and none of them say what I learned. None of them. Even they say, I'm gonna explain verse by verse Book of Revelation. Man, 4 or 5 different priests, like verse to verse, and they explain the things that I wrote it. They don't explain that. They bypass it. Instead of saying what it's written, they're like, oh, Smyrna was this city, and people did this in that city that time and this time. They give the history, but they're not saying what Jesus meant when he wrote it, about it. The symbols that John saw it, they don't explain. I'm like, this is not possible. I'm like, how can this be? Book of Revelation, everybody reads it. Everybody kind of trying. There's millions of YouTube channels, and I'm looking. And none of them giving the information that I wrote it. And it's upsetting. And also, it started to keep saying to me, Key of David. Keeps telling me that I need to know about Key of David. And I'm like, why? And then when I found out that Key of David has frequency of 444, I just lost it. Because for 1 year, Everywhere I look, I see number 444. I wasn't paying attention. I was not paying attention. And then I started to say it loud, like 444. My daughter could hear it. My sister could hear it. I'm like, look, 444. And time on my cell phone, the moment it says 444, I look at it. Whatever I'm doing, when it hits 444, I look at my time. I start to read. I start to make comments, and it's 444. And I couldn't understand. I Googled it, and it says it's an angel number that you need to do work, encouraging to do work. So for 1 year, this 444 number is telling me that I have to do work, and I had no idea. I'm like, man, maybe I need to take care of this. I need to take care of that. I need to write my method book. Maybe I should start teaching piano again. All that stuff. Work. What kind of work? What kind of work? And January 4th, 2026, in the morning, clearly it explained to me what kind of work I have to do. Clearly says that I have to bring up Christianity to one religion, one church. Christians need to have one belief, one church, one understanding. And I have to bring all those Christians together and then help them to cross over to God's kingdom, for them to inherit God's kingdom. And I have to help them, because all these Christians, they all different faiths. They all believe differently to the God, to Jesus, to Holy Spirit, just the Christians themselves. So God was not telling me just go and help Muslims or other religions. No. He was telling me that I have to bring Christianity to one religion for them to be able to cross over when Jesus will come. And God told me that it's only 3.5 years left. And He gave me the deadline that I have to start by June 2026. He told me that in January, from January to June, I need to study for 6 months His Word and finish the book of Revelation, and then I have to start the work to establish the new church. And I'm like telling God, I'm like, my vocabulary is so limited. I speak beginner's English. I don't even speak intermediate or advanced. I speak plain beginner's English. I'm not good in tongue. I'm not good. How I'm gonna do this? How I'm gonna talk? How people gonna listen to me? How I'm gonna do all that stuff? They didn't listen to Jesus when they said, you want Barabbas or you want Jesus? The crowd says they want Barabbas to be freed, you know? So with that crowd, I have to deal with the crowd that Jonah was running away, you know? And I had to deal with that crowd, Sodom and Gomorrah crowd. I need to deal. And then God kind of also opened my eyes about angels. And particularly one angel that tells God, that volunteers, says, I will go and I will lie to the king of Israel and mess up his mind. I'm like, what? So in God's kingdom, there's all these angels, and one angel, we don't know his name, just comes and says, God, I'm going to call my God's name Jehovah or Yehovah, Yehovah or Jah or Yahweh, but I need to call him with his name because he has a name. I have a name. Everybody has a name. Trees have names. Flowers have names. Everybody has a name. And my God has a name. And his name is Jehovah. Maybe it's not pronounced correctly, but you know what? You have to remember Abraham was Abram. Sarah was Sarai. Jacob became Israel. You know? So, how many times Jesus Christ changed his apostles' names? The Simon, Peter, even the first king. No, not the first king. Saul became Paul, this disciple. So, names, they changed, the pronunciation changed. I was Karine, now Corinne, like Corinthians. Yeah, my dad told me. He says there was a city named Corinne, Karine, Armenian Karine, and he named me by that name. So my name is Karine, and when I came to America, I became Corinne, and I love it. Corinthians, Corinne. I love my name. It changed, and it changed my personality to live it. So we do change, and maybe it's not Jehovah, maybe it's Yahweh, or maybe it's a Jah, or whatever name he has. But right now, we Americans call him Jehovah. Armenians, they call Jehovah. Okay, so I'm going to call my God his name, because Jesus, in his prayer, he says, let your name to be sanctified. And God's name, why not? Like, God has a name, and I'm going to call him by his name. I know they say, oh, you cannot use God's name, all that stuff. You know what? It's their religion, their understanding. He revealed his name in Isaiah, book of Isaiah. He says, I am Jehovah. That's my name. So that's it. I don't know. I messed up in my brain with the book of Revelation or something, or I got mature and I understand the book better, or it's God's Spirit. He is last days choosing the people that are going to help other people to cross over to God's kingdom. And he's revealing common people like me, not the priest, not the pope, but someone like me, a common person. He's revealing, and he says, just do it. Don't be afraid. Just do it. And I'm goofing around January 4th, and today, I think it's April 18th, 19th, something like that. I didn't check my calendar. And but he gave a deadline. By June, I have to start, because he says it's 3.5 years before it starts, before we're gonna see our Messiah on the white horse. We're gonna look up and see, not physically, but spiritual eyes. We're gonna see with spiritual eyes. So if you are that Christian, that God is gathering us all together to build a new church, one Christianity, going back all the way to Jesus' time. We're going to see it, and we are going to see the white horse and Jesus sitting on it. And it's going to be written on his thigh. It's going to say, King of the kings and Lord of the lords. Good times coming. But we need to be strong, and we need to do exactly what I have to teach. And this is the foundation, the cornerstone that Jesus was talking about. It's 1 John 5:5. The whole mankind, the whole obligation, if you want to enter to God's kingdom, that's the key. That's the key. 1 John 5:5. I'm going to end it. So I just said about my vision that I had that daytime. And I went to God's kingdom. He allowed me. Key of David, The door was open for me. Jesus opened the door for me. And I went to his God's kingdom. Because when I started to pray, I felt it being lifted and going to his kingdom. And I was standing there. 7 lamps, 7 spirits. Jesus and Jehovah, God. And I was sitting there and I was praying and I could see him. I could see all his glory. What a privilege. Before I was praying, it was just talking to God. But now, knowing that when I pray, I go, I have that opening, the ladder, that I can just, with the thought of your mind, travel to God's kingdom and just firsthand talk to him. That's it. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I have no idea. I don't. I'm going to pray to God to give me strength and understanding. And whatever I wrote, at least, I know I needed to end it, but I'm gonna read something that I wrote. Just one thing, maybe. Just one thing. It's again, I don't know why I opened this, but it's Key of David. God is telling me that I have to really work on Key of David. Really. And I think even I opened up YouTube channel, Key of David. I did. Because God wants me to talk about Key of David. I think that's what I know what it is. I did the research and my God revealed it to me. So I need to do the kingdom. So let me just read it what I wrote it. That's all. I think, no kidding. So I open up the page that what I wrote, the last thing I wrote, which is February 2nd, 2026, 9:02 p.m. Revelation 6:7. Pale horse named Death. Revelation 1:18. I have the key of David. No, not David. No, I was mistaking it. I have the key of death and of the grave. Horseman name is Death, and the grave was closely following him. Horseman name is Death, and the grave was closely following him. Grave, Hades, common grave of mankind. Cherubim is flying eagle. Authority was given to death, and grave over fourth part of the earth. 20% of the earth. So authority was given to the death, and grave over fourth part of the earth. Biosphere, living things, land, water, air. Authority was given to death and grave over 25%. Land, water, air. And it says grave is the land. Water and air, life, death. So God revealed something to me, and now I cannot understand. But it's coming back to me. America, New World, as Europe and Africa. Asia, Europe, Africa. Okay, so the authority was given to death and grave over fourth part of the earth, which is only 25%. So the book of Revelation 6:7, it explains why America, United States, was discovered later on and what was the reason. That's what it says. But now I wrote it and I cannot understand what I wrote it. This proves that the information came to me. It came from God. He revealed it to me at that time. Oh yeah, next page is in details exactly explains. It explains in details. So this is what I was reading. 25%. All this information I wrote it. And then God explains to me what this means. So I have that in writing. He revealed it to me. This is it. If I was doubting that I'm crazy and I'm thinking that God is giving me information, February 2nd, I stopped because my neighbor complained that I am making sounds and management went after me. And they wanted to kick me out of my rental place. And that's what I was doing. 3-4 weeks fighting with them. I'm like, I'm not making any noise. I'm not doing anything. And they wanted to get rid of my balcony with my plants in them. Strawberries, tomatoes. And everybody had it. And they just wanted mine to be gone. So Satan stopped when Gabriel needed to go and give Daniel the information. And King of the Persia wouldn't let him. And Michael, Archangel Michael, is the one that went and helped Gabriel to fight with the King of Persia to be able to go. Gabriel for him to go. And I'm in so much pain. That's why I'm talking like one word at a time. I'm in so much pain. So I'm just kind of overriding my pain to talk. So it's hard, but I'm going to finish it. So the same thing happened to me. So I'm writing this, and my downstairs neighbor does everything just to lose my place where I live. I was fighting for that with management, and they left me alone. After 3 weeks, silence, like nothing happened. They never talked to me. Nothing happened. That's what happened. But I stopped writing it. I'm really getting sick. I might vomit. Even I know it's a bad word to say it, but I have health problems. Severe health problems. So they stopped. And I'm trying to go back to this. Even maybe 2 weeks ago, I wanted to go back and write my method book, and I opened it, and all that flow was coming. It stopped. I'm like, okay. I was holding the pencil to write, and I couldn't, because all that information that I wrote it for my piano method book, it wasn't for me. I was just writing it like crazy. Information was coming page by page. I almost was done with the book, and it stopped. And now I understand, because first page I'm reading I don't understand, and then I'm turning the page, and step by step it's explained to me about just the Revelation 6 verse 7. That's all. These 2 pages, it's about that. I'm really sick. So I was doing that. What time was it? 9:02 p.m. And then I went to verse 6:9 at 10:14. So it took me 1 hour just to write one verse or two. 6:7. 6:7. I don't know what happened to the 8. 6:8. The verse is not there. And then it jumps to Revelation 6:9 after 1 hour. And then I start to write page by page. It just goes like 3 pages, only 6:9. So yeah, I guess it is. It is coming from God. And I need help. I need someone to help me. See, I'm very sick right now, and I know I'm gonna vomit. It's my intestines. I have a huge problem. I cannot eat anything. Anything. Oh, gotta go. I guess the video was about that for me to understand that information was coming above for my method book and for this book of Revelation. I have to write it, and hopefully I don't know how to get back. I need help. I don't know. I need help. I'm very sick. I'm very sick.